What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, guys. I had a special request. My guy Peter sent me this one. How to move to the Netherlands from America. Easy with DAFT, or I don't know if it's DAFT or DAFT, however you pronounce it, or however they say it. But I find this interesting. I did an interview with my guy exploring the foreign, and he recently just moved, or not recently, but a couple of years ago, just moved to the Netherlands. So I always find it interesting to see how you can move to a different country, because I never experienced that. I never known the processes to doing that. So definitely going to find this interesting. So y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations, and let's check out how to move to the Netherlands.
Are you American? Do you have $5,000? And have you always wanted to live in Europe? Well, stay tuned on this video because I'm going to show you how you can move to Europe and get permission to stay for 2 years, 5 years, 7 years in the Netherlands if you meet those criteria. All you need to do is be American, $5,000-ish, and the desire to come to Europe. So stay tuned. I'll show you how to do it. So I'm telling all my friends about this because it sounds a little too good to be true. But
I didn't know, like 5,000. I mean, technically, if you're trying to move all your stuff and all that, you know what I'm saying? That's interesting. 5,000?
How to do it. So I'm telling all my friends about this because it sounds a little too good to be true, but I'm doing it right now. That's why I'm in Holland. You can tell it from the wooden shoes because they actually use wooden shoes here. They're really good in the mud, to be honest. But look, back to the business making. All you need is 4,500 euro and create a company, and you get a what's called a verblijfsvergunning, which is basically a permission to stay, a residency permit, and you get that for 2 years.
Wow.
And all of your family, your wife or husband, your kids can get a werksvergunning, which is a work permit to stay here. Okay, so think about this. You start a business, or your spouse starts a business, and then the other one doesn't need to get sponsored to stay in the country to work, right? So any other company can hire the spouse, right? So you can start whatever business it is you want. You can start a button selling business.
So it would have to be starting a business, not like finding a job? Which ain't bad, because, I'm an entrepreneur myself, so definitely wouldn't mind going to a new country, starting a business,
No kidding. You can start a dog walking business. You can start a people walking business. You can start a people walking dog business. Doesn't matter. Just start any business. Fund it with 4,500 euro. That's it. That's all you need.
So that's what the 4,500 coming from. I thought it was like something with like paperwork or something.
You don't need this huge amount of money to put into this business. 4,500 euro and you're in. And they give you the verblijfsvergunning, and they give your family the werksvergunning, so that you can stay here for 2 years until you renew it. And when you renew it, it's renewable for 5 years.
Wow.
Okay, so let's get into the details on this. First of all, you need to create the company. You can create it while you're still out of the Netherlands, or you can come here as an American for 90 days without a visa, and you can start the whole process from here. But there are a couple things you got to consider with the timing and so on. I'll go through those in just a second. But you need to start the business. So you can do this on your own. You can start either a single owner business, so like a sole proprietorship of what's the equivalent in America, or you can create a private corporation, which is a BV here in the Netherlands. And with one of these two companies, then you need to fund it with a commercial bank account and put 4,500 euro in there. And that's a critical number. For the whole period you have these 2 years, you cannot go below 4,500 euro, even for a day.
So technically you need more than that just to be safe, be secure.
Below, and they inspect it, and they're gonna inspect it. They're very good at that sort of thing. They will not approve your renewal.
Dang.
So very important. Create the bank
Which makes sense, because I think they do it. They don't take like your business away or anything like that. But here in the States, if you have a business account, you got to maintain a certain amount. So say for instance, like nonprofit, maybe you have to keep $1,500 to $2,000 in that account. If they go below it, then it will start charging like account fees and all those things. That's about it. But those fees, they only charge like 5 $10, stuff like that, a month. So, but this is different. I don't know if it will charge a fee. I mean, I'm sure he might tell us, but yeah, that's how it works here in the States. They just charge a fee to your account monthly when you're below that minimum amount.
Account, put say 5,000 euro in there and forget about it, and just leave it alone, and then do your other things. But that gets you permission to stay indefinitely in the Netherlands, which gets you permission to stay indefinitely in Europe. Okay, so there's all kinds of possibilities that you can do with that. And if your family members,
that means technically I can use YouTube. I just put a money in an account, use YouTube as my business, and go to Europe. That would be perfect. That would be perfect. Right there. Then I'll have a home here in the States and in the Netherlands. That would be nice.
or you are then the one who gets the work permit, you get an income, right? It's a great deal, and I had no idea about it when I decided to create a company in the Netherlands. I really had no idea about this thing, and it popped out of nowhere, and it's just further evidence that when you make a goal to go and do something, great luck follows you around, because there's no reason that this should exist, but it does, and hooray. Okay. So you create the business, you fund it with 4,500 euros. Now this is different than other ways to create a business in Holland. So normally there's this 300 point checklist. No kidding, a 300 point like evaluation that you have to go through to start a company in the Netherlands as a foreigner, and then get the immigration and all of that. And it's really difficult. You have to prove that it's good for Holland. You have to prove that it is, high tech, that it's something unique, all of this other stuff. All of that is out with DAFT. DAFT, Dutch American Friendship Treaty. You can look it up, but basically you create a company as an American in Holland, and all of that's bypassed. All of it. All you have to do is create the company, and you can create it mending socks. You can create a company that shampoos cats. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So you start the company, 4,500 euros, critical. Just set it aside. Then you need to do your application form. So you can do it yourself. And it's a little hard if you don't spreken Nederlands. Then is that a bit tough, because it's a lot of legalese and you have to go through the whole process. But it's possible. You can do it with Google Translates or something like that, or you can get help. So just to start a company, you can get a legal firm to do it for about 500 euro. 750 euros, and they set up everything. So they do all the reporting, they set it all up, and there's a bunch of firms that do it. I'm going with a firm called Broad Street. They've been great so far, and they've walked me through the entire process. Good. Now, they're a bit more expensive than 750 euro because I'm doing some other things. I have an S-Corp in America that owns the Dutch corporation, and there's a bit of fancy schmancy with my setup. But for you, it can be a lot easier. So you can just set up the business and then fund it with the 4,500 euro, right? So it should cost, if you want a lawyer to do it, or what they call an advocaat, then you can just have them, and there are a number of companies that.
I guess this not a bad way at all, especially since he just mentioned he already have a company that's basically over this company, so that makes sense.
Help foreigners set up businesses in the Netherlands. There. Okay, so that's one piece of the puzzle, right? So you got to find a entity. You can talk to Broad Street. They will set the whole thing up. There are others, though, for sure, that I've spoken to. They all seem really legit, really great outfits. Okay, then we're talking about DAFT, right? So the Dutch American Friendship Treaty. What do you need to do to get that thing going? You have to go through the application process, and there are a number of companies that will help you through this. Just look up DAFT application Netherlands or Dutch American Friendship Treaty application help and so on. But what you need is called a notaris, which is a special kind of lawyer that handles these kind of administrative things. And there are a couple of companies that just do DAFT applications, or like that's their main thing. which is great because they know what they're doing. And I found that these range in price, but generally, if you want them to help you out, it's about €1,500 to do, plus
this whole process seeming like it could cost up to 10 grand of American dollars, up to 10.
Them to help you out, it's about €1,500 to do, plus the filing fees and plus the application fees, which I think they're saying is €1,400. So it starts to add up. It might not be exactly, $5,000 that you need to get here, but look, if you're coming here on $5,000, you probably got more problems than like that. That's not a lot of money. You should have a bit more.
Definitely not, man.
But the other way
$5,000 seems like it's like $5 these days.
of doing business in Holland, you have to give a minimum of like €35,000 of just capitalization into the company, and this bypasses all of that. So a lot cheaper. And if you do things yourself, or with a Dutch friend or something, you can do this actually on the cheap, right? If you're willing to do the legwork. But I would highly recommend that you start this whole process before you enter.
Then wouldn't you have to go get you a home? Transportation should be good, but then you gotta, find a place to stay, do all that and all,
The Netherlands, because there are a couple of timing things that you need to
That sounds like
consider.
it's gonna be a little bit more.
Hey guys,
though.
something I almost forgot when I was doing this, and I remembered during editing, that it's really important that you get an apostille certified birth certificate. So this can take a while, so you gotta plan in advance, but especially during the past situation, some of these things are delayed. I know New York State is talking about 3 or 4 months to first get your official birth certificate from them, and then you have to get it apostille, which is a special European sort of stamp or certification. And so make sure you plan in advance, and there are plenty of
I
services.
wonder how that work in Texas then, because we can go get our birth certificate right there on the spot. Like, I think we pay like $25 and we can get it. Then I don't know how long it'll take for the European process of it, but he said 3 to 4 months. That's a long time. You definitely got to plan ahead.
That will do the whole thing for you, depending on what state it is. And not every state takes as long as New York State, but that's just something that you need to consider. Okay, back to the video.
So you start the company, you fund it with €4,500, you start your DAFT application, and then when you're in the Netherlands, you get a stamp on your passport extending that 90 days. So once that DAFT application is put in, you get an additional, I think 90 days or something, that it extends your passport while that application is pending. And typically the applications don't get rejected. So you can create your company, come into the country, start your DAFT application, and then stay here a longer time. Then you need to do the whole application. You need to have an address. So for the company, you need to have a work address. You need to have an office. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All you do is look at Regis or WeWork or Spaces is a place here. They're all shared offices. You can get a dedicated desk, and you can use their address for your company.
That's pretty convenient, because I was just about to ask, because sometimes you can use like your home address as well, but shared offices, that's even better.
Right, so easy, and you just sign an agreement. It's like 150 or 200 euro a month.
That's not
depending
bad.
on what
That's
you
not
get,
bad.
and they'll get all your mail there. They'll give you your mail. They'll give you a dedicated desk or just a virtual office, and you can go in there and work in their common spaces.
That's not bad.
Whenever you want. So that's easy, right? Then to do the DAFT application, you actually need a residence address, and in Holland it's separate. You can't you can have your business address at your residence, but you can't have your residence at like a proper work address. So that's the next step. You need to get an apartment, basically, and that can be a little tricky because landlords here, the housing market's really, really tight, and landlords here are a little bit nervous about renting things out to people when they've worked for a company that's less than 3 years old, right? So you have to get the company set up. You need to give yourself an offer letter. You might need to pay a bit more down payment or rent or so on. And I know you're thinking, oh my God, Rich, you're lying because the bills are piling up. This isn't $5,000. Rah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you.
Definitely sound like a little bit more. You definitely got to be. Your business got to be doing what it needs to do first before you make this move. But it still sounds like a pretty smooth process. Like once you get financially and have everything set up, then it'll probably be a smooth move.
This is the best way to come into Europe that to do long term, unless you can get sponsored by a company. And you could if you're a high-tech worker, but that's harder. Okay.
Maybe I need to get a Netherlands sponsor. You know, some company in the Netherlands come endorse me.
Start the company, come into the Netherlands, get a residence address, fill out the application for DAFT, and then get your stamp and so on. Then, once it's approved, you get a 2-year permit to stay here. Okay? You got a 2-year for Verblijfsvergunning. And that's at the end of the 2 years, that is extendable. You can get an extension for 5 years. Why is that significant? Because after living in the Netherlands for 5 years, you can apply for a Dutch passport. Why would you want a Dutch passport? Well, it gets you into the EU anytime you want. So you get a Dutch passport and you can end up, living in Europe, whenever you want. You can live in Portugal. You can travel around. It's nice. It's wonderful if you are an American. So telling you, look into this. Don't take my advice as financial or tax advice. This is the best thing. I'm telling all my friends about this. You want to move to Europe, DAFT. And for you Nederlanders out there, you can do the opposite thing into America. So it is a friendship both ways because we're friends with our good friends in the Netherlands. We love those guys. So, hope this was helpful to you. I hope to see you in Europe. At some point, you can, and if you start a company, leave a comment down below because I'd love to see people taking advantage of this and exploring such an amazing world we have. I'm so excited to be in Europe now and to be able to explore snowboarding in the Alps or, yachting or sailboats in the Mediterranean. Yachting, yes indeed.
Yachting.
Look, it's a big world. Enjoy it. Love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon. Okay, like and subscribe. Bye.
This was definitely good. Definitely interested. The rich life. Definitely got to subscribe. But this will definitely be a good option, especially if you are an entrepreneur, got a business and stuff like that. This is not bad because, technically, if it's booming in one place, might as well go ahead and expand. Which, like you said, is taking you from only being able to do the 90 days to 2 years. So now you got 3 months versus 2 years, depending on how long you want to stay. Then that 2 years can turn to 5. Then eventually that 5 can turn into forever. So I think that's a pretty cool process. Definitely going to look into that, especially as I continue to grow my businesses and stuff. Y'all know I do a lot of things. So this is definitely going to be beneficial to me, possibly in the future and stuff as I get to rolling, get everything going again. So, but appreciate this recommendation. Definitely some knowledge. Definitely need some money. So if you looking at this, if you looking for the free route, this video may not be for you. But if you starting a business, know what you want to do, it's already popping. This is a good option, I think. So this is pretty cool. But that's all I have for this video. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all make sure y'all send me some more video suggestions. That's all I have. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.